his heart is even more beautiful. I mean,
oh, but his heart is even more beautiful. This is so forced. Why is she showing up on hour-and-a-half-long podcasts? Who's got time for
like her? It's not your fault. It's because she's extremely unlikable. She has the non-it factor. It's amazing. She's actually good at this.
Candace Owens delivered a viral takedown of Meghan Markle, and she didn't hold back. Labeling Meghan a pathological liar, Owens asserted, "No one's ever going to believe you're authentic. You can't even be yourself. You're exhausting." This sharp critique wasn't just bold. It captured a sentiment that many people have quietly shared, but rarely expressed out loud. Meghan recently appeared tear-streaked and makeup-free in a podcast episode marketed as her most authentic yet. No glam team, no script. Just the real Duchess, except almost no one was convinced.
gosh, I work so hard, and I appreciate what hard work looks like. I like working hard.
She's like, oh my God, oh my God. Oh, it's like, it's so inauthentic.
She also is pretending that she's crying. We zoomed in just to see. There isn't a tear in sight. Dan, look at this. I invite the viewers to take a close-up look at this.
From the carefully timed tears to a host who felt more like a hype woman than an interviewer, Meghan's appearance on the Jamie Kern-Lima show wasn't just awkward, it may have extinguished the last bit of goodwill she had left. Behind the soft-spoken voice and quiet sobs appeared to be a strategic effort to remain in the spotlight, promote a lifestyle brand, and reclaim public sympathy.
Being a mom and a wife and a friend.
Oh, yeah.
Those are all jobs.
hearing Meghan talk about Harry and how much of a fox he is?
He's also a fox, if you haven't noticed. My husband's very, very handsome.
But she is a malignant narcissist who cannot get enough of herself while she simultaneously plays the victim.
I mean, have you ever heard somebody have to try so hard to be like, put it out there? I'm not buying it.
There's nothing I like about her. While she never stops.
This wasn't vulnerability, it was strategy cloaked in a trembling voice. And the facade is starting to crack. Let's break it down. Meghan's podcast debut on the Jamie Kern-Lima show was promoted as a pivotal moment. No makeup, no script, just the real Duchess, free of glam and pretense. But the internet wasn't convinced. Candace Owens wasted no time dismantling the narrative, calling the setup yet another scripted performance, and doubling down on her. Claimed that Meghan struggles to project even a hint of authenticity.
She won't let me call myself Her Royal Highness anymore, but I'm gonna put it all over my stationery and on the gifts that I give to my friends.
She's stuck because she was an actress who became a real princess, who wants to be an actress again, but has to continue to pretend to be a real princess.
Meghan Markle is now accused of breaking the agreement with the late Queen after podcast revelation.
Searching for something to like about her, and it's so hard.
Owens wasn't the only one speaking up. Viewers quickly pointed out Meghan's perfectly tousled hair and inexplicably glowing skin, sparking widespread skepticism. Critics dubbed it the soft filter hustle. The lighting, impeccable. The outfit, casually curated. The emotions, almost too polished. Then came the moment Meghan read a letter to her children aloud. Her voice cracked. She giggled through what appeared to be staged tears. Host Jamie teared up right on cue, and Meghan, she dabbed her seemingly dry cheeks with cinematic precision. That's when Candace's words came roaring back across social media.
The title of her show, Love Meghan. For what? To watch? Who wants to watch Meghan Markle bake a pie?
Did you notice that at the end of every episode, it says, like, the starring, Meghan, Duchess of Sussex?
Yes.
I'm gonna make Meghan a charcuterie tray, which I just learned that word a few years ago.
Charcuterie tray for Meghan Markle.
She's not even a proven entrepreneur. You'd need both hands to count the missteps. But this isn't just about makeup or image, it's about trust. And Meghan's? It's nearly gone. She's attempting to market vulnerability the same way she markets yoga pants. But here's the reality, you can't apply a filter to sincerity. And when you're crying over a busy schedule from a Montecito mansion, people don't reach for tissues, they start checking the facts. Truth is, the cracks didn't start here, they've been growing ever since archetypes.
Prove that you're enough. You have to prove that you're pretty enough. You have to prove that you're smart enough. You prove that you're a good wife or a good
Woman who destroyed her in-laws' family, whose own family doesn't like her, whose the in-laws obviously don't like her, the public doesn't like.
I gotta prove that I'm pretty. While she's a pretty woman sitting across from a bratwurst? Yes!
High-profile feminist podcast debut in 2022 came with a $20 million Spotify deal and sky-high expectations. It was marketed as groundbreaking, but instead of making waves, it barely made a splash. Yes, she booked big-name guests like Mariah Carey and Serena Williams, but beneath the star power was a host critics described as over-rehearsed, self-absorbed, and oddly disconnected from her own message. Spotify gave her every chance to succeed, but behind the scenes, executives reportedly grew increasingly frustrated. Meghan and Harry just didn't want to work, one insider revealed. By June 2023, Spotify pulled the plug. No farewell, no explanation, just a quiet exit. One critic described archetypes as 57 minutes of self-congratulation. Another called it a masterclass in how not to connect with an audience. And now, months later, Meghan's podcast presence has shifted to staged tears and reading self-written fan letters to her toddlers.
She married for money. It's very clear she bagged the elephant. She was thrilled. She became a, quote, princess.
I made homemade strawberry jam. It's kind of like a doctor when you keep referring to them as doctors, like, call me Susan. You know, like, I would never refer to myself as her royal highness.
It was planned from the beginning. She denied being interested in the royal family, which she totally was.
Such a bad look for Meghan to still refer to herself as a...
The shift from empowerment to seeking relatability was abrupt, and frankly, a little desperate. But that wasn't even the most startling part. Let's talk about the host. While Meghan's delivery raised eyebrows, Jamie Kern Lima's reactions left viewers stunned. Her over-the-top praise, cheerleader tone, and emotional mirroring felt less like an interview and more like a self-help skit gone off the rails. "You made me cry," Jamie cooed. "I love being your friend." Viewers didn't just cringe, they recoiled. Critics were quick to call it out. A synchronized self-congratulation session, with Lima coming across more as Meghan's publicist than a credible interviewer. Even YouTubers joined the fray. One likened it to Between Two Ferns, just with fewer laughs and more discomfort. Online sleuths weren't convinced by the spontaneity either, accusing Meghan's team of scripting the exchange down to the surprise reactions. One viewer summed it up perfectly. "It's like watching two billionaires cry about their feelings in a mirror maze of compliments." But the real problem wasn't just the awkwardness, it was the damage. Meghan's push for relatability didn't resonate. The message wasn't, "I'm just like you." It was, "I think you'll believe anything." Then came the podcast line that ignited social media. "I work so hard." Meghan detailed her day-to-day, editing podcasts, writing Instagram, captions, managing product lines, mothering, being a wife, friend, and running a newsletter. But the audience didn't sympathize. "Hard work?" They scoffed. "You live in a castle." Some pointed to leaked tax filings showing Meghan and Harry log roughly 1 hour of work per week. Yes, just one. Barstool's Dave Portnoy called her unrelatable and delusional. Megyn Kelly didn't mince words either, branding Meghan a malignant narcissist leveraging victimhood for engagement, even once loyal fans began to pull back. Reddit threads that once championed her are now full of memes and disbelief. The truth is, most working mothers don't have teams of assistants or Montecito estates. They can't unplug when things get tough. So when Meghan laments her workload, it doesn't come across as vulnerability. It feels like privilege dressed up as pain, and audiences are no longer buying in. Then came the series that was meant to shift the narrative. With Love, Meghan. Netflix backed it. Meghan poured her heart into it, but the result? A public relations black hole. The series followed Meghan as she cooked, gardened, and entertained friends in a lavish California mansion that looked like a Martha Stewart fantasy with an influencer filter. Critics weren't moved, they were baffled. Celebrity chef Jameson St. Clair, who has cooked for royalty, slammed the show as slow, forced, and fake. He claimed Netflix offered him a consulting role, which he declined, calling it a vanity project. Netflix allegedly responded with legal threats. He shrugged, saying, "I don't even think she can cook." The reviews? Brutal. Variety called it a Montecito ego trip. Vulture described it as a bizarre journey into the center of nothing. Viewer ratings followed suit. 2.4 on IMDb, 11% on Rotten Tomatoes. One infamous scene showed Meghan whispering "goodnight, sweetheart" to a cake before sliding it into the oven. It didn't land as heartwarming, it landed as exhausting. So what is Meghan really selling? Relatability, but every move reads as manufactured. The bare face? Possibly filtered, the emotional cracks, impeccably timed, the podcast tears, suspiciously dry. Even her gentle, "I'm the happiest I've ever been" sounded rehearsed. The obsession with controlling the narrative is becoming obvious. From Harry's conveniently timed statements to Jamie's robotic admiration, it's clear this is vulnerability wrapped in PR. Remember when Meghan said she was in the trenches during royal life? Critics were quick to point out those trenches included castles, global influence, and personal staff. She keeps telling us how hard her life is, but the message many hear is, applaud me for being wealthy, famous, and mildly inconvenienced. And the backlash? It's growing. The contradiction is stark, preaching authenticity while hiding behind layers of curation. Because here's the truth, it's not the crying that turns people off. It's that the crying feels like a brand strategy. So where does Meghan go from here? Spotify is out, Netflix could be next. Her image as the relatable working mom is unraveling. Even her core supporters are asking hard questions. Can she pivot? Possibly. But only if she stops playing a character. Even critics now admit Meghan was more likable when she was acting, literally on sweats. Former media allies are stepping back. Outlets that once hailed her as a feminist icon are growing quiet. Whatever comes next, be it another podcast, a product line, or a reality show, will face intense scrutiny. Because the public isn't just watching, they're questioning. Every whisper, every tear, every quote now invites the same thought. Is this real or another Markle PR moment? And when that becomes the standard, even honesty starts to feel fake. At the core, Meghan isn't just seeking relevance, she's after redemption. She wants to be seen, admired, and understood. But she also wants to stay in control of every narrative, from the lighting to the tears. The issue, the act is wearing thin, the audience is more discerning, the emotional credit is running out, and if she keeps packaging vulnerability like a product, the empire she's building may collapse before it finds its footing. Because at the end of the day, you can fake a smile, you can fake a brand, but you can't fake being real, not forever.